It's true. It's true. These actually make things darker. Welcome to Durbania. I'm Durbin, and this is my spoiler talk analysis for John Carpenter's They Live. So I gotta tell you right off the bat, what made this experience of watching this movie so much more rich for me, had me so much more engaged, was the fact that, number one, I had never heard of this movie before watching it, which means I'd never seen a trailer or anything. So that's number one, and number two. So I went into this movie completely cold. So what got me turned on to this movie was my patron, Jeremy Hobbs. Now, Jeremy responded to the call that I put out to all of you, my viewers, saying, during this time of quarantine, what would you like me to review? Jeremy said, They Live. And because this is right up Cody Leach's alley, Cody Leach and I decided to do this as a collab. So once you're finished watching my thoughts on the movie here, head over to Cody Leach's channel and get his thoughts on this movie. And if you're here because you just watched Cody Leach's video and he sent you over here, welcome. Let's dive into this. Overall grade for this movie is a B+. Like I said, what really amped the interest level of this movie for me was going in cold. So like the first 40 minutes before our lead dude, Nada, before he put on those glasses, the real mystery of what is lying just beneath the skin of this world was really playing on me, man, because I just didn't know what this was. I didn't know what was coming. I had no idea. And so as you get deeper and deeper into the beginning of this movie, first it's just complaining. You know, the poor are getting poorer, the rich are getting richer, the environment's getting worse, all of this stuff. It's just, you know, and then it sounds conspiracy theorist, because why? You see that blind, you know, priest, and he's preaching on the street about the rich elite and how they're running the world, and so it gets a little conspiracy theory. But you know, just by the way the movie is set up, that these are clues, and you gotta take these clues in. So I'm taking these clues in. I think the first real thing that really, like, I leaned forward was when you had that homeless community living across from the church, and the signal interrupts the TV show. And so you have that dude who's sitting there talking, and he started to sound like the Matrix, saying stuff like this.
Our impulses are being redirected. We are living in an artificially induced state of consciousness that resembles sleep.
I'm listening to that, and I'm like, is this where the Matrix got its idea or something? Like, what is this? What is this wool that is pulled over humanity's eyes? What is this false skin of the world that they're all seeing? What is the truth that is beyond that? What is going on here? And so by the time you have Nada, who is curious about this church, because I mean, you have the blind preacher guy, and he's not even watching the TV, but he's saying the lines that the guy is saying on the TV. And so they just keep on amping this stuff up. And so when Nada goes to explore the church, I was just as curious as him. And when he finds the boxes of sunglasses, my first thought is, put them on. Put them on. And then, of course, you have that scene where the helicopter shows up. They have to put on their glasses to look up at the helicopter. When the whole raid happens at night and the police are coming, I mean, you have them wearing their sunglasses as they're running out at night. So you know, it's like, put on the dang sunglasses. Go get a pair. Put them on. What are they seeing when they wear those sunglasses? So it did a good job getting me to ask that question and want to know what is going on. Especially that raid, man. That was one intense scene where the SWAT team, the police, they come, they raid the church, they push back that homeless community. It's like, what is going on at that church? How ironic that it's this church that seemed to have the truth, the way to look past the skin of this world and see what's just beneath it. And so Nada goes in there, finds the glasses, and my favorite scene is when he puts the glasses on for the first time, and he's just walking through the street. Because at first, it's just, the subliminal messaging was incredibly interesting. The fact that he put on those glasses and he looks at the billboards and he sees things like marry and reproduce, obey. He looks at the magazines, stay asleep, obey. Like, they're all things that keep people in a stupor. I mean, the fact that I don't think you noticed it until you put on the glasses, that right above the traffic light, there's this little spinning satellite dish thing sending out a signal saying sleep, 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 keeping human beings in that state of stupor and that state of sleep. And then he turns and he looks at that one dude, and boom, it's an alien, which I laughed hysterically. I mean, honestly, the mask, it looks so fake, it looks so rubbery, and it only took me out for about a second, just about a second. But the story was so interesting, and what was going on with this was interesting enough that I just kind of let it go. I went, it's 1988, whatever. So I just sort of let it go because I'm going with what it's trying to show me. And what it's trying to show me is something not human is running the world. And at first, like, is it an alien? Is it a demon? I mean, what is this thing? This is what's running the world. So kind of like the Matrix, humans are slaves without realizing that they're slaves. As you put together that it's the sunglasses that are interrupting the broadcast these aliens are sending out, and the broadcast, the frequency coming through the TVs and coming through whatever, as this broadcast is being sent out, it pulls this false skin over the world so you don't see the truth underneath it. You don't see the slave that you really are. And so Nada's reaction to the fact that the world is being run by aliens and that he really is this slave was pretty incredible. Actually, more than incredible, it was hysterical.
You look like your head fell on the cheese dip back in 1957.
That's like pouring perfume on a pig.
And I'm all out of bubblegum.
So I thought that was all really, really interesting. But when he met the girl, Holly, I gotta tell you, I thought she was an alien right up front because of her eyes, man. I mean, her eyes were freaking me out the whole movie. I was like, are you sure she's not an alien? He looked at her through the glasses. She was human. I was like, are you sure though? It turned out I was right to distrust her. She ended up being a traitor, but still, just her eyes were freaking me out. And when she hit Nada in the head and threw him out the window, I went, yeah, he dead. No, you're dead. But then he found enough energy to go find Frank and have the longest fight.
Put the glasses off! Put them on!
Okay. Okay, good. It's over. It's not over. Oh, finally, when the darn thing ends and he gets the glasses on Frank, it continues to get more interesting because this is where we get more into the world, where you learn more about those who made the glasses, that it is indeed aliens, and they're coming and they're destroying our environment because they're making their environment more like, the environment of their home planet. They're using up the Earth's resources. So really, humans are pets, they're cattle, they're being used as slaves to bring about pretty much their own destruction for the benefit of these aliens, and for them, it's just business. It's all about the money, which goes back to something that was incredibly interesting. The first time Nada put on the glasses, and he's there at that magazine stand, and the dude is saying, are you gonna buy that? And he's holding those dollar bills. You know what those dollar bills say when he looks at them through the glasses? This is your God. That was probably the most fascinating thing, and it stuck with me for the rest of this movie as we're learning more and more about the truth of what's going on here. Because when we get to the end and they find the secret base of these aliens under Los Angeles, and there's this great big ballroom, you know what we see? Humans and aliens in the room together. And the humans don't care, man. They don't care that these are aliens. Money is their god. So of course those humans are just gonna listen to whatever the aliens say and do what they're told to do as long as the aliens keep making them rich, giving them more of their god whom they serve. And so when you find out Holly's the traitor, no surprise, she killed Frank, which was really depressing to me because how many times did he talk about his wife and his kids? So I was really sad when he died. But you had Nada, who finally gets rid of Holly and he shoots the satellite, which gives us a hysterical ending to this movie where the signal stops and the truth is unveiled and everybody sees the aliens for what they are, and it is freaky and it is the most hilarious part of the movie. That whole ending sequence was hysterical. But I have a thesis here, and my thesis is Nada sacrificed his life for nothing. I really think he gave his life for nothing. I don't think the fact that humans seeing that the aliens are aliens is going to change anything, because it goes back to the money. This is your God. See, you got to change your heart. I'm sure there were some, when they saw that the people around them were aliens, were jolted into reality, and maybe some were jolted awake. But honestly, there were tons of humans in that rich ballroom living it up, serving the aliens because the aliens made them rich. To me, this is the real power that this movie shows, because what it shows is you could peel back the skin of the world and let everybody see the truth and see things as they really, truly are. But what is it going to change unless the heart on the inside changes? I mean, you have Moses, who led the children of Israel out of Egypt. They saw God. They saw God's miracles in Egypt. God manifested his presence in fire and smoke on the mountain. They heard God's voice, and Moses went up for 40 days to get the 10 commandments on stone and to get the law. And while he was up there for 40 days, they got impatient. They saw the truth. They knew the truth, and they went back to what they knew and made a golden cow and decided to worship what they made. So knowing the truth is half the battle, but the real battle is the heart. And not a sacrifice didn't change the heart. God is all about taking that heart of stone out and replacing it with a heart of flesh that is responsive to his touch. He wants to give us a new heart. It's what Jesus meant when he used that phrase, born again. It's not just that we're asleep on the inside, we're dead on the inside. And when we let Jesus in, we are born again. We are given a new life. See, Jesus' sacrifice took on the condition that takes our heart and makes it stony so that our heart can be made new. So as much as I would love to be able to come up with sunglasses where we could put them on and we could see angels and demons and the skin of this world could be pulled back and we could see the truth and see things as they are, what good is that gonna do? Because all those humans that were rich because of the aliens, they didn't care. They knew it was aliens. But the condition of their heart was they were worshiping money. Money was their God. That is what they were submitted to. So the God has to change. The heart has to change. And when we truly surrender to that relationship with Jesus, knowing the truth is half the battle. But when we surrender the heart, that's where real change comes. And that's what Jesus' sacrifice was all about. His sacrifice was defeating that power that holds our heart captive to give us brand new life. So his spirit could live within us. So we just don't see the truth, but we can actually walk in the truth. And when we know the truth and walk in it, that's what sets us free. So what did you think of John Carpenter's They Live? Did you like this movie? Let's talk about that in the comments. And while you're in that comment section, if there's anything else you'd like me to review during this quarantine, let's keep those requests coming and let me know what else you would like me to review. While you're there, hit that subscribe button to become a Durbanian. Hit the bell by the subscribe button so you're notified for my next movie review, ranking video, theological analysis, or anything else I do here. I'm Durbin. Thanks for checking out Durbania.